and public charge is in effect. And so I'd like to speak with you guys about 6 things that you could now expect now that public charge is in effect. So friends, if you're out there, I'd love for you, as usual, to send me some hearts and give me some thumbs up so that I know that you're watching me and you're cheering me on. But friends, also tell me where you're watching from. I always find it so fascinating to know who is watching and from where. And so, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is Attorney Latoya McBean Pompey, and I'm an immigration lawyer in New York and also the founder of Smart Immigration Academy. Friends, again, I see some people watching, and I just want to thank you for watching. This video is streaming live on Facebook at the moment, and it will be placed on YouTube, McBean Immigration TV, and some other forums. Friends, I know that a lot of you are out there and you're really terrified right now because public charge is in effect, and you may be really discouraged right now. But I want to start off by telling you that I still believe that you can get through, okay? If you are smarter about how you approach things and you work with the right people, there is a way, okay? Don't lose heart because public charge is now in effect. No, the government has just made it a lot tougher, but we have developed tools to help you and to help our clients to get through in spite of this public charge beast that we're now under. So I don't want you guys to lose heart. I want you guys to stay plugged in and to get as much information as you possibly can. Whether you're inside the US or outside of the US, you can still get your green card, okay, or that immigrant visa. So I just want to start off by saying that, and I see that some people have already chimed in. And one person, Babs, says there is hope. Absolutely. And so for those of you who are just now joining, you can put some thumbs up and some comments and say, yeah, hope. Yeah, we still believe you can do this. So don't lose heart. And more importantly, beyond hope, we've developed tools and we have resources to work with people under this new public charge system that we're now under. So don't be fearful. In this video, as I've mentioned, I'm going to talk about 6 things that you can expect now that public charge is in effect. 6 things. So I'll start the video off by saying under the old system, friends, which was just yesterday, under the old system, the way that it worked was, your eligibility is based on your family relationship. So for most of you out there, you're going through a family petition process. So I'll speak only to that process. But you're eligible for a green card because you're married to a U.S. citizen, or your parent is a U.S. citizen, or your sibling is. And so that eligibility was based on that family relationship. And also, friends, it was based on the fact that your family member who sponsored you had a good, decent income to sponsor you. So that was really the extent of it, okay? The extent of it was basically based on the affidavit of support and based on your family relationship. And all things being equal, your green card application is approved, or your visa application gets approved. Under this new system that has started today, the process is a lot more complicated. There are multiple layers of analysis that will happen to determine whether a person is going to get the green card or not. It's layered. And in fact, today I filmed a video that's going to come out this week about the story of a woman named Tanya, and I walk you through the analysis that the government will go through to determine whether Tanya is likely to get her green card or not, or likely to go on public benefits down the road. So stay tuned for that video. I brought out my whiteboard and I started teaching again about Tanya's good factors and her negative factors, and I take you through the steps that the government will go through now to determine whether an individual is likely to become a public charge. So that video is coming out later this week, and it's about income, because that's where we are with our public charge teaching. So as I've said, under this new system, friends, the focus of the process is on the applicant. It's no longer the affidavit of support person. It's on the applicant, and the applicant demonstrating that he or she is equipped and able to take care of him or herself, and they're working and they have all the right tools to be successful in America on their own. And so the government, in order to answer the question about whether the individual is likely to become a public charge in the future, they're looking at the totality of circumstances, and they are going to determine, based on all of these things about the individual, that individual is likely to be self-sufficient, take care of him or herself, or that individual is likely to go on welfare within the next 5 years. The biggest flaw, in my opinion, with this new system, friends, is the fact that, as you guys know, with life, things happen that you don't predict or expect to happen, and a sudden illness can lead to bankruptcy or homelessness or something really bad happening. And when that occurs, the individual has zero control over it. And so when those things happen, an individual can go on, obtain medical care and treatment from the government or food stamps or whatever the case may be temporarily to get them through that tough time. It could happen to anyone. So, that to me is one of the biggest flaws with the analysis, but nevertheless, it is what it is. And so I'm breaking it down in the next video about how Tanya, her situation is whether she's likely to go on public welfare or not in the future. So watch the next video this week. Now we're going to shift gears and talk about 6 things that you should expect under this new public charge system that we're now under. The first thing that you could expect is there's new forms that need to be filled out. And you may be watching videos on YouTube. Other immigration lawyers have been talking about the new form. The form I-944, which is the Declaration of Self-Sufficiency. The Declaration of Self-Sufficiency has to be submitted with the Adjustment of Status application. That declaration is 18 pages long, and some lawyers have been going through it. I'm not going to go through it in this one. I'm going to go through it in other videos. But for this video, I just want to introduce it to you and let you know that it's a deep dive into your or your relatives' financial affairs and health and all sorts of stuff, education, skills, all of that. So that's the new form that has to be filled out with your adjustment of status application. But I don't want you guys to get caught up so much about this new form, because to be honest with you, at the end of the day, anyone can fill out a form. That's not what this is about. It's not filling this thing out well. That's going to really make the big difference. What's going to make the biggest difference, friends, is how you're able to put your packet together and tell the government the core of your story and lead them to conclude that you are not likely to become a public charge in the future because of A, B, C, D, E, and F. That's what's going to get you through. That's what's going to do it. It's not necessarily the details about this form and this and that. So don't get hung up on the form. But this is a new form that will need to be filled out. If you're overseas and you're going through the embassy process, the new form that you'll need to fill out is the DS 5540, and that's a State Department form, and you fill that out during the NVC, the National Visa Center process. That's how so those 2 new forms are out there because public charge now applies through DHS, Department of Homeland Security, as well as the Department of State, their rules are in effect today as well. So those new forms is the first new thing that you could expect under this new system. Thank you guys for the hearts. I see them and I really appreciate them. The next thing that you could expect under this new public charge system, friends, is that it's not about one thing. Your application is not about one thing anymore. It's no single thing anymore. And it's not about the affidavit of support sponsor anymore. That's really what I'm talking about here. It's not about that one thing, that person meeting that income, or that one thing being I'm married to a U.S. citizen, or that one thing being, oh, my parent is a U.S. citizen. No, it's not about any more. It's not about any one thing anymore. You can't look at, or I have good income. It's not even about that one thing, that one thing, friends. It's about a lot of things. It's about a lot of things. Okay? Not the one thing anymore. So this gets to the whole totality of your life, of your circumstances, being your age, your health / medical condition, your income, assets, resources, your education, your skills, your family size, and then, of course, your affidavit of support sponsor. It's about all of those things. And within each of those things, there's things underneath it. Okay? And so it's, I group it as like 5 big things, because in my analysis of this, it's 5 big categories or factors. And then underneath it is all these sub issues. So that's what it's about now. It's not about that one thing about your file that seems so strong, seems so amazing. It's great. You're eligible because of your U.S. citizen spouse. Not about that anymore. So, number 3, the third thing that you could expect under this new system, friends, is a lot more evidence will need to be gathered with your application. You'll have to submit more evidence about the applicant, credit score, credit history, financial records, medical records, educational records. All sorts of records is now required with the green card process under public charge. So your application, submitting a bare bones application is a thing of the past. You now really have to work with someone, a lawyer preferably, on your application to make sure that you're hitting all of the evidence that is now required under public charge. The government, friends, by the way, through on its website on uscis.gov has put out its instructions to form I-944. It also has that bond, which you guys know, remember, there is a bond now that's part of this process, minimum of $8,100 if you don't pass the public charge test. But the instructions are on USCIS's website, and you could go there, look, and see what kind of forms, what kind of evidence they are requiring now under this new system. Number 4, what else can you expect under this new public charge system? Well, you could expect that legal fees will be going up or have gone up. Lawyers are going to be charging more. And I did hear one lawyer say on YouTube last week, he said, listen, my fees are going up. And, guys, that my fees have gone up as well because public charge requires a lot more work from the attorney. And so expect to be paying more money in legal fees when you're going through the green card application or even change of status application or extension of stay application, because that's part of this too. So legal fees will be higher. So when you consult with the lawyer, whether it's through me or someone else, you consult with a lawyer and they tell you their fee to do adjustment of status or to help bring your relative to America. Don't be surprised at what they're going to quote you, because the old fee schedule and system is behind us now under this new system, because we've got to do a lot more work to get you and your relative that green card or to be here together permanently. So that's the next thing you could expect to see under this new system. The fifth thing that you guys will see under this new system is that you could expect to have a lengthier process. Process is going to be longer, and you're thinking, shoot, it seems very long already. You know, case processing times are already ridiculous, and it is, because the biggest the policy is delay, deny, and frustrate the whole process. So case processing times have already slowed down. But under public charge, friends, I believe it will get even slower. Why? Because they have more papers to review. If you are an adjudicating officer and you had something like this to look at, right? You had something like this. Well, it's usually a little bit more than that. Let me pull something else out here. I don't want to mess up my system. But if you had, a smaller file to look at under the old system versus, let's say, for example, you have this, I don't know if you could tell, but anyway, bigger file to review. It's going to take you a little bit longer, right? It's going to take you longer to look at all of this paperwork and weigh the factors and try to determine, is this person going to go on public welfare in the future or not? It's going to take them longer, friends. It's just more paperwork, bureaucracy. It's going to be slowed down. That's what I'm expecting to see under this new system. Okay, case processing times will become slower. Last, the sixth thing that you could expect under this new system, and this is not a good one, but this is why this new policy is in place. Denials will go up. More people will be denied because a number of things. Firstly, when you have a human being looking at this big file, and that human being was trained to look at age, health, this, income, all sorts of stuff that they now have to consider that they've never considered before. These people, and they have to maybe work a little faster to get through all these big piles of paper and this and that. They're going to make mistakes. I think that's inevitable. Mistakes will be made. So that could lead to a denial. And then these officers have more discretion to determine, I don't think no, period, no. Why not? Well, it looks to me like, you're likely to go on public benefits because of your age. You're too old. We don't see that you're going to get back out there into the workforce and make more money. We see you just not working for the rest of your life. Okay, so it's that kind of thinking that an officer can have as he or she is going through that analysis. And so more denials is likely to happen. And then, of course, with the educational requirement, the income requirement, the skills requirement, a lot of people can't pass that test because they've just never have gone far enough in school, or they don't speak English, or they don't have health insurance. There's a lot of things that people do not have when they're going through a green card process. And if they don't have all those things that measures up to this new system, they will be denied. And so under this new system, you could expect to see more denials. So friends, in summary, 6 things that you could expect to see happen now under this new public charge system that we're under. Firstly, new forms will need to be filled out. and filled out well. Secondly, it's no longer about a single thing in your file anymore. It's about the totality of the circumstance and the totality of who you are and what you've achieved so far and what you're likely to do in the future and your income. It's about all of those things. Thirdly, you could expect to see a lot more evidence, submitting a lot more evidence to the government. Okay. Fourthly, legal fees will go up. They will be higher. Next, the fifth thing you could expect is that the process will be lengthier because these adjudicating officers have a lot more paperwork to get through, which sucks. Ooh. You know, it's a lot. It's going to be a lot. And then last, denials will go up as a result of this new complicated analysis that these officers will have to go through to determine whether someone is likely to become a public charge in the future or not. So those are the things I'd like to share with you in this video. Again, I have a video coming out this week about a woman named Tanya, fictional woman who is 29 years old, and I'm going to walk you through some issues in her life and let you know whether she's likely to become a public charge or not. So we're now talking about income. We'll talk a little bit about that in the next video with Tanya. And so friends, share this video with your feed, stay plugged in, get on Smart Immigration Academy's wait list. I'm going to announce in another few weeks when enrollment will open up again. Now is the time to join, really, because all of March, I told the Academy members today, all of March, we're going to be talking about public charge all month. In the Academy, we're going to focus on public charge because, as I said, there's multiple layers of analysis. People just got to get it, and I'm going to drill it in their heads, and they're going to get it. They are going to get it, believe me. So, friends, I love doing this. I love coming in front of you. Share this with others, and be encouraged. Don't be afraid. Stay plugged in, and take care. And let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are about this issue, these 6 things that I've shared. And just know that I'm sharing this not to scare you, because you guys know I don't want you to be afraid. And I'm telling you a whole lot more than what other people are telling you these days, right? So it's not about that. It's really about fighting back. I love that. Fight back. Get them. Get them good by staying together permanently in America. That's what this is about. I love that part. So friends, have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.